Well, the Seneca experience for me is really everything that we provide just from the front end, to cutting tape, what we provide to the integrator. So it's having a dedicated inside account manager. So our customers and partners have somebody to always go to, somebody they know that's going to handle their solutions, their problem. So it starts there. It's me on the outside. It's our inside account manager. And then it's providing an optimized, certified, and guaranteed solution to them. And what comes with that is, mitigation of risk. It's us taking responsibility to say, hey, we know this, regardless of the VMS, we know what hardware is required for this solution, and we're going to provide that to you, and then partner with you to the end user as well. So it's never, our partners are never alone in anything that they're doing. So whether that's us going on site with them, but then it's also being able to provide that server or client station in a matter of minutes. It's configured, it's ready to go, optimized for security, and ready to go for them when they get that box. So, and then on the back end is the support too, right? So our tech support team is incredible. Our engineers are incredible. And it does not matter what software is on there. It's something that we can support and help solve for should there be an issue that's not a hardware issue. So optimized is, it's what makes our hardware different from going to just a hardware supplier. So we're on a Dell reference build. So if they went direct to Dell, what does that, how are we different than just buying that hardware? So being optimized for security. So, understanding what the OS needs to do to provide that solution, it's something as simple as automatic updates being turned off, right? So everything is optimized for a security deployment. Being certified, so certifying that this solution is going to work with this software program. There's not going to be an issue, and then guaranteeing it, right? So, when our partners go out and they provide a solution to that end user, they're on the line to make sure that this functions as advertised, that if there's an issue, the end user is going back to them. They're not coming to us. So it's us truly partnering with them to mitigate that risk, to say, hey, we're going to take responsibility if there's any issues. And then that, financial burden falls back on us. It is not on our partners. So it's a true partnership. So, it's optimized for security, it's certified to the software platform, and then we're going to guarantee that solution that we provide. And should there be an issue, we take on the responsibility. Arrow as a whole, being able to provide that financial backing. So, some of our partners, they're a smaller partner or a smaller company, and they come into these opportunities where the end user might not have the financial backing, and our partners cannot front that money. So what Arrow actually provides for us is capital funding. So they're able to provide that. They have an incredible partnership with Dell. So right off the bat, we have extremely aggressive pricing from Dell. So our partnership there. And then Arrow as a whole with the other divisions, we have some really cool partners, and that they come up with these really neat ideas that it's not cookie cutter, right? It's not, okay, we have this price list, but I need something special. I'm doing, whether it's a ride at an amusement park or, doing something special. And that's where I can pull in other services from Arrow to say, okay, not only can we do, this solution, but we can handle logistics, we can pull in other engineers. So there's really just a breadth of opportunity and products that we can pull in, or services from Arrow. So when understanding, being able to understand what a security deployment requires, what a VMS requires. So the more we can simplify that for our partners, it takes the guesswork out, right? So we have what's called Maestro. And that is, it's taking out all that guesswork on the optimization. It's taking out the guesswork and loading the VMS. That VMS is staged for them. And it's allowing them to be able to configure cameras and be ready to deploy in really just a matter of minutes versus hours. So, you know, when our partners look at bidding an opportunity or they're up against somebody else, you know, labor is a big part of that. It's a big part of that overall solution. So if we could take something that would typically take them 4+ hours, you know, to configure, and we can drop that down to minutes, that's either, you know, additional funds for them, or it's them. It's a matter of less labor costs so that they can provide less expensive cost to their customer. So simplifying that part of it. And then really, before you get to that, it's simplifying, here's the solution. You know, come to your dedicated account manager, your BDM, and we do all that configuration for you. Here it is. Now, when you cut tape, it's still just a matter of minutes. So Maestro is huge, and Maestro really encompasses a lot. So in that is SBAR, so it's your backup and recovery. You know, as a Microsoft OEM partner, we provide the backup for that, which typically resides on a partition on the drive. We've taken it a step further to say, okay, we're going to have a 64 gig USB drive internal to the machine. So our partners are now not worrying about, let's label this USB drive, what's it for, or worry about the end user hijacking the USB drive for family pictures or whatever. So it's that, plus they can also back up the total configuration. So if they wanted that option to where they could back up the camera configuration, then they don't have to, should there be a catastrophic event, they don't have to rebuild everything. It's all right there. And then of course, xConnect. xConnect is actually my favorite. I love it. It's such a huge value to our partners. It comes on every single box that we ship out. Depending on the VMS, it could be integrated. So, so that's another plus, where you've got this free version that's still going to monitor any IP device. Again, mitigation of risk for them, but it's an RMR play for them as well. And then when you put in the licensed version, which allows for remote management, you know, what if you could just sit in our partner could sit in their office and, okay, there's a problem with the camera. Let me just remotely cycle power on that. I don't even have to roll a truck for it. So we can do that. We can do, you know, VMS updates, or they could do VMS updates, OS updates remotely. And again, depending on that VMS, the integration is so big, and it's not them having to figure out another platform to really work with. So xConnect is the best. It is a huge, huge value to our partners. We work very closely with our ecosystem partners. So that's really the start of a sales cycle. It's really, you know, building that rapport, building that trust, that relationship to say, hey, here's what we're here to do, is to help grow your business, to help provide you with a solution that's better for your customer. So it's not a check mark, right? Or we're not checking a box. So typically we go in and we have those discussions, you know, here's how we can provide a better solution for you, simplify your process, and provide something that's a better total cost of ownership. So doing that, introducing them to the account management team, showing them how we can provide the solution where we're going to do all the configuration for them. Just tell us what cameras you have, et cetera. We'll build out the solution for you. And then, you know, then of course us, you know, processing that and then adding on to what they're already doing. And sometimes it's coming up with a better idea. So, so typically that's how that process works. And it doesn't always happen like in a week. It takes a little bit longer, but that's typically the sales process. Something else we look at, it's not just, you know, is this box going to fit for me today or for the end user today? It's scalable in that we can build out today for the future. So in providing that you know, again, going back to that Seneca experience, not just on the hardware side, but here's, you know, here's your team of resources that's going to say, okay, this is what you want to do, but here's a suggestion on what we can do, and allow us to provide you with an option that will scale as your business scales as the end user. And it's a huge value when our partners can pitch that to their end customer to say, you know, this product is not, you know, here's what you get and this is all it's going to do. So, you know, whether it's let's add on storage in the future, you know, or let's be able to view more video in the future, it'll all scale to that. Our support team is pretty incredible. We used to have an event up in Syracuse, so we do most of our stuff out of Syracuse. And we would be able to bring in our partners to show them our lab. So, you know, the engineering lab sits literally, and the engineers sit next to our tech support team. So because we are on a Dell reference build, you know, it's of course a great product, but all the calls come into Seneca. So it's not, you're not going to Dell, you're not going to somebody that doesn't understand the security industry. Our team really understands the security industry. They absolutely understand the VMS. So when they call in for support, they're going to get Seneca. And if it's determined that it's not even a hardware issue, most of the time we could solve for that because of our partnerships with our VMS partners, but also the fact that we understand that VMS so well. And if they didn't have, you know, if the technician couldn't solve for that, they literally would get up and walk over to the engineering and pull them in on a call. So that's really what sets us apart in exploring and working with our partners to make sure that we're solving this as soon as possible. It's a 24/7 support line. So after hours, you know, it's kind of like having an on-call doctor. You know, we'll call them back and be able to help them out. And then providing next day support. So if a hard drive goes down, we will dispatch on-site support, make sure that the product is there the next day so that the replacement can be made. Seneca has so much goodness, and it's hard, you know, I think, especially from, you know, for salespeople and other people think, they're just saying that, they just want you to buy their stuff. And that's not it. We have, it's such a great, it's a great company, but we have such great people, and we provide such a great solution that can solve for, here's ease of use, here's easy to get the product, here's easy to get pricing. And then of course there's Maestro and there's xConnect. And it's just, I don't understand why everybody doesn't buy from Seneca, because it's so good. I guess that's it. And you know, how to get that message out there to just, you know, I mean, if you're not utilizing us and you're not buying from us, and helping us solve for your pain points and what you have going on, then I really think they're missing out on a lot.